hydrogen can be a real game changer. Produced in a climate-neutral way, it can significantly reduce CO2 emissions far beyond the electricity sector. This is why it plays a key role in decarbonizing the industry and making it less dependent on fossil fuels, primarily by using renewable energies. The European Union and many countries, such as Germany, France, and the Netherlands, have already announced or presented ambitious hydrogen strategies.
Hydrogen is a colorless and odorless gas. It is the lightest and most occurring element on Earth, but it doesn't exist in its pure form, just compounded, like in water or natural gas. To use it as a feedstock or energy carrier, it needs to be separated. The advantages of hydrogen are: there are no CO2 emissions when it combusted, it can be transported in pipelines, and third, it can be stored for a long time, for example in salt caverns. Thus being said, hydrogen is not dangerous. It is explosive, but due to its lightness, it evaporates very quickly. On the one hand, hydrogen is used in industry processes for a very long time, and we have experiences in handling hydrogen. On the other hand, and that's the main disadvantages, hydrogen is currently made of natural gas, and that process emits CO2.
Among the solutions is also green hydrogen. When it comes to the energy transition, it will play a key role.
Here at RWE, we have recognized the great potential of green hydrogen. Using renewable electricity from wind farms, solar parks or run-of-river plants, in so-called power-to-gas plants, to produce green hydrogen. The technology used is water electrolysis. It is a mature technology and commercially available in small scale.
Industry could use climate-neutral hydrogen, for example, as a raw material in refineries or for the production of steel. It can also be converted into synthetic fuels. Although they have the same features as kerosene or diesel, they are carbon neutral. In order to supply, for example, refineries, the steel and chemical industries, or aviation with green hydrogen, very large amounts of generated electricity from wind, sun, or water are needed. For this reason, renewable energies in Europe are to be expanded even further. However, this will probably not be enough to cover the entire domestic demand. This is because densely populated countries do not have enough space to build large numbers of renewable energy plants. Therefore, carbon-neutral hydrogen will either have to be imported in a similar way that oil and gas are today, or other ways of producing carbon-neutral hydrogen will come into play.
Beside green hydrogen, there are also other alternatives to produce low-carbon hydrogen from natural gas. First, there is a possibility to capture CO2 from steam methane reformers and store it in underground storage facilities. That is the so-called blue hydrogen. Another alternative process is methane pyrolysis. Here, under the usage of high temperatures, natural gas is cracked into hydrogen and solid carbon. Solid carbon can then be stored or used in industry processes. That is the so-called turquoise hydrogen.
RWE is uniquely positioned to supply the clean electricity necessary to produce H2. RWE has extensive know-how in producing green hydrogen with its own electrolyzers and its own gas storage facilities for intermediate storage. RWE is extremely experienced in energy trading and can also supply hydrogen to industrial customers in line with their requirements. And in the long term, RWE's own gas-fired power plants are also potential green hydrogen buyers.
We are involved in several hydrogen projects along the whole value chain. These reflect the broad experiences in our company. They are located in Germany, the Netherlands and UK. To drive the hydrogen economy, we are also active in several national and European hydrogen initiatives. After all, we are very keen to play a key role in the hydrogen economy.
RWE is using numerous projects to propel the hydrogen economy. Get H2, Aquaventus, and H2 Brunsbüttel in Germany, Eems Hydrogen in the Netherlands, and the South Wales Industrial Cluster in the UK. The Get H2 initiative takes the entire value chain into account. From the production of green hydrogen to pipeline transport and all the way to industrial use. Get H2 Nucleus is the initiative's first project, in which 5 partners are working together.
As part of the Get H2 Nucleus project, we and our partners are planning to implement a first dedicated public hydrogen infrastructure. This includes the deployment of a 100 megawatt electrolysis at our power plant in Lingen. This is a huge step, as current electrolysis plants in Germany are at a scale of 10 megawatt. That is the tenfold of current existing projects. We are using green electricity from offshore wind farms in the North Sea to produce the renewable hydrogen. The hydrogen will be transported in existing gas pipelines, which are converted for this purpose. The green hydrogen will substitute grey hydrogen in refineries in the Ruhr area. Thus, CO2 emissions will be saved. Around 105,000 tons of CO2 are going to be saved. If everything goes like planned, and I truly believe it will, we are able to produce green hydrogen from 2024 onwards. And at Lingen, we have the great potential to upscale the capacity of the electrolyzer plant to 2 gigawatt until 2028. This will be a huge contribution to the 5 gigawatt mentioned in the German hydrogen strategy.
A project known as Aquaventus is also planning on using wind power in the future. The difference is, the electrolysis plants are to be installed directly at sea, off the island of Heligoland.
We are part of the Aquaventus initiative. Here, we and our partners are investigating ways to produce hydrogen offshore, directly at sea. The island of Helgoland shall be the central hub for the green hydrogen. A central pipeline shall transport the green hydrogen to the mainland. In the first sub-project, we are investigating the possibility to produce the hydrogen directly at the bottom of the wind turbine. For this, initially 2 40 megawatts turbines shall be implemented in front of Helgoland.
Although Eemshaven Power Station in the Netherlands is also located on the North Sea coast, the intended electrolysis plant will be fed with electricity from an onshore wind farm. The project name is Eems Hydrogen.
In our project Eems Hydrogen in the Netherlands, we are planning to install a 50 megawatt electrolysis at our power station in Eemshaven. The cool thing is that here the electrolysis is directly connected to one of the largest onshore wind farms in the Netherlands, and that is the RWE wind farm Wester Eems. The produced green hydrogen shall be transported via pipelines of the gas grid operator Gasunie to industries nearby.
The South Wales Industrial Cluster has also set its sights on decarbonizing manufacturing. This is another project where RWE has teamed up with companies from the steel, chemical, oil and cement industries.
Our power station Pembroke in Milford Haven is located in one of the 6 industrial clusters in the UK. Its proximity to industrial off-takers makes it a perfectly fitting place for a hydrogen hub. Here we are investigating carbon cycles and CCS, so carbon capture and storage, as well as hydrogen production, distribution and usage.
In contrast to the other projects we have considered thus far, H2 Brunsbüttel is not concerned with producing hydrogen, but is focused on importing it, as Germany's first LNG terminal is being built in Brunsbüttel.
Together with our partner German LNG, we are investigating possibilities to import green hydrogen via LNG terminals. Here, the hydrogen shall be stored and then fed into the hydrogen infrastructure. This is required as first, there are areas in the world where hydrogen can be produced more cost efficiently, and second, Germany does not have the space to produce the renewable electricity needed for green hydrogen production.
Australia, for example, is well positioned for the production of hydrogen, thanks to the vast expanses of land available and the high solar radiation. This is why RWE has joined the High Supply Project Group, headed by BDI and Akatech, which aims to investigate the possibilities of a German-Australian hydrogen partnership.